Hi, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, namaskaram, vanakkam. Welcome to a weekly Zoom show on the Sunday, 13th of November, 2022. This is our show number 46 in this year, and we propose to put up more shows as we go along. Well, I recall the film Sholay, which we all would have seen many number of times way back in 1975. We all know the film in its entirety. We also remember most of the dialogues by heart. I would recall one particular scene in that film when the dacoit head Gabbar Singh sends his henchmen to the nearby village Ramgarh to collect foodstuff. He has been a terror over there, and the villagers have been obliging him all along. But this time, the villagers stood against them. They refused to give because they were emboldened by the appointment of their own henchmen by the village head Thakur. The dacoits are chased away. They return empty-handed to the den. Well, the Sardar is not very happy. He wants to punish these guys. He has a pistol on his hand in which there are 3 bullets and 3 empty chambers. He fires the first 3 rounds. They are empty chambers. The dacoits, the henchmen escape. There is happiness in the gang. They all start laughing, including the Sardar. They laugh their heart out. In the midst of the laughter, the head fires again. The next 3 henchmen fall down dead. There is an eerie silence. Vultures hovering overhead to collect their food. Breaking the silence, Gabbar Singh says, "Jo dar gaya, samjho wo mar gaya. Jo dar gaya, samjho wo mar gaya." Fear. Fear is the element inherent in all of us. Way back in 1961, the famous novelist Alistair MacLean wrote a book, Fear is the Key, which was later on converted into Hollywood blockbuster with the same name, Fear is the Key, which did good business at the box office. Well, we all have fear in us. We fear for something or the other. We do not know how to overcome this fear, how to manage this fear. But what exactly is fear all about? How do we control? How do we manage? How do we come out of it? Well, to answer all these questions, we have our guest speaker in Dr. Sudha Srikanth, joining us all the way from Atlanta in USA. She will tell us exactly how we can overcome our fear, manage and control our fear. Welcome to the show, Sudha. In fact, you're aware that it's very much early in the morning in your part of the world. I do not know when the sun would have risen over there. It should be around 7 a.m. with minus temperatures in the outside. You are sitting in a warm, cozy atmosphere. And I'm sure you would have had your first mug of cappuccino, warm and hot. If you're still holding on to your cappuccino mug, you can lift it to the camera for all to see. Okay. Well, we begin the show as usual with a prayer, followed by the guest introduction. Then after the guest speaker takes over, and on her completion, we'll have an open session wherein we all can put our views, observations, comments, feedback, even ask questions to the guest. She'll be more than happy to answer. And finally, we'll wrap it up with a summary of the talk and a word of thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's kickstart the show. Having up first is the prayer. Well, all along we have been having a female voice in prayer for us. This time we thought we would make a little change. We are bringing in a male voice. Sridhar joins us in singing the prayer for us. Sridhar, kindly unmute and go ahead.
Am I audible?
You are. Go ahead.
Okay. Gayati Vanamali, Gayati Vanamali, Maduram Gayati Vanamali, Maduram Gayati Vanamali. पुष्प सुगंध सुमलय समीरे, पुष्प सुगंध सुमलय समीरे, पावन मुनिजन यमुना तीरे, पुष्प सुगंध सुमलय समीरे, पावन मुनिजन यमुना तीरे, गायति वनमाली मधुरं गायति वनमाली मधुरं गायति वनमाली परमहंस हृदयोत्सवकारी परमहंस हृदयोत्सवकारी परिपूरित मुरली अवतारी परिपूरित मुरली अवतारी गायति वनमाली मधुरं गायति वनमाली मधुरं गायति वनमाली गायति वनमाली गायति वनमाली.
Thank you, Sudha. That was an excellent rendition of a prayer. A perfect start to the show. Now you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the show. The guest introduction. Well, while coming into the show, I just had an opportunity to view the profile of Sudha Srikanth. It's awesome. It's mind-blowing. It's a dream profile which anybody would want to have. Why is it awesome? Why is it mind-blowing? Why is it a dream profile? Mr. T.R. Anantharamakrishnan will tell us why. Krishnan sir, kindly unmute and go ahead.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Am I audible, please?
Absolutely fine.
I think Dr. Sudha Srikanth does not need any introduction. Because after seeing her on the screen, only people recall everything about her. Now, unless she has gained some more qualification in between these 11 months, I have to repeat the same thing. I'm sure some experience or some other qualification she must have acquired. So that's why I have to go through once again. I know Dr. Sudha Srikanth, you know everybody, she is a part of the Tapovan only. She is not a guest actually. She is a part of Tapovan anyway. She has got a variety of qualifications. It's very difficult to say everything. If I start saying everything, then I'll be only talking. She will not be able to talk. So that is the problem. You know, she is an experienced coach in emotional intelligence. That's what they say, with a demonstrated history in education management industry, especially early childhood education. Good. She is skilled in teacher training, counseling, instructional design, team building, and curriculum development. That is a very, very vast field. Madam, I don't know how you manage it, but anyhow, we are very happy that somebody like with qualification like yours is amidst. We are in the company of you. I'm sure that whatever we have missed in our last 70 years, we'll gain now. And Madam has a doctorate in human development from SNDT University and received her certification in emotional intelligence again. She is a member of Institute of Coaching, Harvard Medical School, Boston, US. She has also been in the Board of Studies member, SVT College of Home Science, SNDT Women's University, Mumbai, etc. That is very recent. That is 2018 to 2021. That means it's a recent qualification. She also has been a director of programs, innovations and promotion, Equipoise Learning from December 2018 to April 2021. Madam, I will be very happy if you tell us what is Equipoise. She continues to be the master trainer and chief facilitator at Equipoise and has been a part of the team since inception. Very good, madam. Her passion and commitment to the area of emotional intelligence provided her a chance to co-present a paper at Nexus conference, Harvard University during June 2013. It's almost 10 years now. One good thing with her background is she has helped children in their emotional wellness at Sigma Tennis Academy for 5 years and has been involved in providing guidance in the field of early childhood education over 2 decades. Excellent. She has been a pre-primary head at Lokpuram Public School for 4 years and academic counselor of the Diploma in Early Childhood Education program with IGNOU, that is Delhi, for 13 years. She is delivered a lot of addresses. The following keynote addresses, that is the very important. That is impact of emotional intelligence awareness and development in parents at the conference titled Progressive Academic Excellence India by Evolve Excellence. Great. Invited as a guest speaker to address professional women's group in emotional intelligence, why it matters, at Switzerland in August 2019. Very nice. And she has also, naturally, she has to, she has to receive a lot of awards. And again, I will not be able to tell every award. I will tell some of them. She is adjudged as the best speaker and social media ambassador at the 9th International Conference at Sri Lanka. That is very recently. So, madam, these are recent qualifications again. She was the Fox News Top 100 Women Icon in 2021. National Excellence Education Award 2019 at First National EduTech Innovative Summit at Pune. Third rank at Master's Degree SNDT Women's University. Great. I don't know why she allowed first and second to go ahead. She should have come first. Best all-round student of the year 1987-88 SNDT College of Home Science. Received medals and certificate for representing university in table tennis. Great. That is something extracurricular. And she also has published a lot of papers and books in emotional intelligence during childhood years. And the same thing is published in the Indian Journal of Social Work. Emotional literacy, the ABC of Understanding Emotions, published in Indian Journal of Positive Psychology during 2012. Paper titled EQ, the Essence of Life, was accepted for presentation at the International Conference of Psychology and Allied Sciences in September 2014. She has also co-authored eQuest, a program which enhance the emotional intelligence in children. She has also co-authored the Emotional Intelligence at a Glance. Madam is presently associated with Manav Kalyan Trust in Gujarat and Navjeevan Blind Relief Center, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh as advisor, teacher development and inclusive education. She is also a consultant with Enable India, where she facilitates the trainer sessions as a part of a See a Million project. She is the content writer with NRK Education and is responsible for developing modules and ECCE teacher training course. I think I have covered more or less everything, whatever is given to me. But if I have not mentioned something different, it's not my fault. And I'm sure you will be able to tell us what is the latest award or what is the latest achievement from your side. Thank you, madam. We are eagerly waiting.
Thank you, Krishnan sir, for the wonderful introduction. In fact, now we understand why it is awesome, why it is mind-blowing, and why it is the dream profile which anybody would want to have. In fact, you have taken exactly 22 minutes to read the short profile. If you had read the longer one, it would have taken a whole day. Thank you so much. Now, in fact, I was wondering, with all those things written in the profile, whether Sudha would have found out how she would have found out time to eat and sleep. There's so much of these things written over there. Anyway, it's now time for the guest speaker to take over. We'll all maintain our mic and mute status. And on her completion, we'll an open forum. Sudha Srikanth, kindly go ahead. It's your floor.
Namaskaram.
Namaskar.
Thank you so much for those very kind words of introduction. It is the blessings of Perumal, our elders, which has seen me through till this day. And I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity for the third time to be with all of you virtually at Tapovan. Thank you so much once again for all the times that you have invited me and eager to share or allowing me to share my little knowledge with all of you. In one of the first talks that I had, I think that was on Vanaprastha exactly a year back, one of the participants had spoken and requested that we need to have a session on emotional intelligence. I still recall that so well. And I'm so happy that today I got an opportunity to talk about understanding fear and managing fear. How do we go about it? Which is a very much an integral part of emotional intelligence. And I would be sharing the scientific knowledge behind what is fear and how we can manage the same. Now, before I actually start, I would like it to be little interactive. So whenever I ask some question and I say that I pose this question and say that would you give an answer, please unmute. You can take one at a time, turn by turn, and so that it becomes interactive and not just only a lecture mode. I would really appreciate that. So when we are talking about fear as an emotion, what comes to your mind? What do you understand by fear? And if I gave you an opportunity and just let you know that I have some magical powers and I can take away that fear from your mind. Okay. And if I say that I have magical powers and you can deposit that fear, you can donate it away and I will take it away from you. Will you be able to give it away? And do you wish to give it away? So I'm asking you two questions. The first part of the question is, what do you understand by fear? Okay. And two, if there was this magical power that I had, will you be willing to give away that fear? Yes, anybody can unmute and talk.
Madam, I think fear comes out of insecurity.
Yes.
Okay. And also expectations.
Yes.
Yeah. And sometimes we may feel, and out of we are not having the confidence to face certain situation. So that time also we feel we get fear. We are getting fear because of that.
Because of certain situations. Okay. Now my question to you is, would you like to give away that fear? Would you like to give it up? In the fear, எனக்கு பயம்னால எனக்கு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. எனக்கு இந்த பயம் வேண்டவே வேண்டாம். நான் இதை வந்து தான் பேட்டியில இந்த டொனேஷன் பாக்ஸ்ல போட்டுடுறேன். இனிமேல இருந்து I don't need it at all. So would you want to give away that fear?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, you would want to give it.
It's not going to help you out.
So you feel it is not important to you,
No,
so you want to give it away.
I have a different view. I would not want to. I would not want to give it away because that would give me overconfidence.
Okay.
I would like to have some element of fear in me so that it keeps me under control and discipline.
Great. So you would want the fear to be there.
At least to some extent, yes.
To some extent. Okay. Any more response from anybody else?
Wherever we should get afraid, we should. So we cannot be fearless in all the situations.
So we will definitely talk about all that.
Also correct, yeah.
Okay, so now Vijayalakshmi madam, you are saying you want to keep the fear or give it away?
No, partially, as he said, because in some places naturally.
No, there is no element. No, we don't have that option of half year, half there. No, it is either you keep it or you give it away. So Subbu sir said that he wants to have it, okay, and you want to give it away. Okay, we will talk about it as we go along. Any more response from the audience about whether what you understand by fear and whether you want to give it up?
Madam, could I go ahead?
Yes, please, sir.
Madam, fear in my mind is something which builds up over a time period. It's not that, it is there with you all the time. And it is something with the unknown related, that is, say something to do with your process of aging, with the process or a situation when you are alone, that kind of a feeling. So those fears crop up in the mind when you realize, I was like this, now am I capable of doing it? So it's a kind of a psychological situation more than anything else. This is my take on fear.
Understanding of fear, okay. And would you like to give it up?
Madam, I don't know whether I can give it up. The reason is, I still don't know what it is. So if it is a tangible object, I can donate, I can hand over, I can give it to somebody else. But I don't know
No, just
really.
assume that I have magical powers and I can dissolve that fear. I can take it away, and from the next moment, the bayam, fear, will not
Yeah.
be there. You will not experience fear at all. Is that
Great.
okay with you?
Great. In the sense, it is something which is bothering me. I would not like to carry a headache. I would like to get rid of it.
Okay, so fear, according to you, is a headache, okay, and it comes in the way of many things, okay, and as what is understood, thank you so much for your responses, and as what is shared by you all, fear is very often considered as the root cause of suffering, okay. Very often we believe that fear, as like though it is there in us, it prevents us as human beings to actually live our lives to the fullest, right? So what exactly is fear? Why do we have fear? And as what Swaminathan Mama just mentioned, that fear is not something which is there just now. It is over a period of time, it builds up, right? And from the early years, like even we can recollect our parents, our grandparents telling us that if something goes wrong or they don't listen, if children would not listen to their elders, they would say that Omachi பார்த்துருக்கா சரியா பண்ணலன்னா பொய் சொன்னேன்னா கண்ணு குத்திடுவா. Okay, so these are things I don't know if you have heard it, but it is a general general way of disciplining the children in one way, but also bringing
Madam, you're muted.
Yeah, but fear is brought about, and as we grow, it just continues to bubble up and expand and expand. Now, let us all understand from the viewpoint of emotional intelligence and understanding emotions. I will be sharing with you the fact that fear is a very, very significant and powerful emotion. Okay, it is present like anger, like sadness. Okay, it is present in our body like joy, like happiness, is happy as an emotion, joy as an emotion. It is present in our body. You may ask, how is it present in our body? It is present in the form of neuropeptides. Neuropeptides are chemicals, they are protein molecules within our body. Okay, they just keep moving. All these emotions are moving in our body, and whenever there is a trigger, okay, that trigger arouses these emotions in our body, and we can sense it, we can feel it all across our body. Like when we are talking about fear, what happens within our body? Our heart starts beating fast. We almost start palpitating. You become cold. Okay, as against in when you are angry, your body becomes very warm and hot, and you can feel your blood boiling. But when you are scared, you feel everything going really, really cold. Okay, and your eyes do not widen up. Your eyes, it depends on, sometimes if there is a stimuli, then the pupils really open up so much to absorb what is happening. And then you tend to close it because you don't want to see the fearful. Yeah, I'm sure you agree with me on all these. And the way we feel it, the way we sense it in our body. Now, fear, whenever we experience this fear, we need to understand that the creator has, created all these circuits within our body. And like any other emotion, fear also is like an alarm clock, which tends to let us know that the path ahead is unsafe. Maybe there is danger. So we need, it is like a safety net. Now, if we understand fear this way, then we will never want to give it up. Because if any of you or some of you would have wanted to give up that fear and it was not their part of our system, then even if children go and touch the gas or children will go and put their hands into the sockets, it will make no difference. The very fact that by the time children are about 9 months, 8 months, 9 months, and they have the fear of going to strangers, it is a safety net which says that I should not be going with the other person because my safety is not sure. So this is something which has been developed within our system, and we fail to understand, like what one of you mentioned, that we don't even know what is fear. We only know that what is causing that fear, but what is the message that the fear is giving us? What is the wisdom behind this particular strong, powerful emotion? We really do not understand. So now if I would ask you this question again, do you want to give up the fear? I'm sure you will say that, no, I want to keep it because it is a safety net. It is an alarm telling me, showing me that something ahead, the path ahead is not safe. So I need to walk slowly. I need to be watchful. I need to be careful. Right? So understanding this as a powerful message that fear is giving us. So when our body goes into that mode, okay, and is showing us all these things, these are called the feeling fingerprints. Okay, and each emotion has a feeling fingerprint. If we are able to decode the message of each of these emotions, be it anger, be it sadness, be it jealousy, be it disgust, and here in this case, be it fear. If we are able to understand, yes, I am getting scared. So now let me find out, why am I getting scared? What is the message that this fear is giving me in this particular situation? Unless we understand this basic, we will not be able to manage it. So it is important for us to understand fear as an emotion that is there within us. Though we may say that it is because of a particular, let's say, external factor, okay, that the fear is there. Agreed, it is because of an external factor. But who is experiencing it? Is it the outside world or is it the inner world? We are experiencing it. It is the individual who is experiencing it. So if each one of us becomes smart with our emotions, is able to understand the value and wisdom behind what that emotion is telling us, then yes, we can say that we are on a path to becoming emotionally intelligent, right? And this holds good for all emotions, but today specifically we will be talking about understanding fear and managing that fear. So at that moment, when that fear is there, when we are experiencing that fear, we realize that our hands, our limbs are going cold. We feel that kaal ipdi nadungardu. Your whole body is shaking and you don't know what to do. You know that your heart is really running a race and you don't know what to do. Why? Because very often we don't acknowledge the presence of that emotion. We just shoo it away. We brush it away. We do not recognize it. And then for that moment, maybe, we feel little okay. And then again, that fear crops up again. And then it becomes a very dominant part of our life, especially because we do not address it, we do not acknowledge it. Okay, so what are the fears as we age? What are the fears that are generally there? Let's understand that. And then I will be sharing with you the techniques how we can manage it. The fear of losing independence. All these years, during your productive years, when you're having high flying careers, when you're managing your family and you have the power and everything is what under your control, you are managing. And then as we advance towards our age, maybe, 55, 60 and ahead, it is that fear is there that we may lose our independence. All this while that I was doing things the way I wanted, I may not be able to do it. So that is one fear which is definitely there in many of us as we age. Second one is on deteriorating health. So if I eat something, இது சாப்பிட்டா எனக்கு ஏதாவது உடம்புக்கு ஒத்துக்காம இருக்குமோ, or something else that you take a walk outside when it is little chilly. Oh, எனக்கு cold வந்துடுமோ. You are every time that fear is there of a deteriorating health. Maybe your limbs will not work properly and you will not be able to walk up and down. Whether I will be able to go out by myself. Another fear is, which is very, very genuine, is not having enough money. No matter how much you have had in your life, you have accumulated the money, you've invested the money, but still with the dropping interest rates, whether it is going to sustain my lifetime is again a fear. It's a very valid fear. Unable to live, at home. Some of us who have our own homes, it is okay, but that fear is always there that, okay, if I don't have this home, will I have another place to call a home? Then it's also about losing a loved one, losing your partner. Okay, fear of fear of something as strong as this can really unnerve you, right? The fear of losing the ability to manage the tasks, whatever you were able to do by yourselves, suddenly you feel you're not able to do. Whether you'll be able to do it or not is again that fear that keeps bothering. Fear of being lonely. What if no one looks at me? What if no one talks with me? I'll be all alone. So this is again a very, very valid fear. Fear of like being cared by strangers. Why do I say this? Is because we are moving into a world where geriatric care, okay, is sometimes because the families you have the children who are staying away, and geriatric care is something which is gaining a lot of importance. It is that someone else will be taking care of me. There's a stranger. So whether that stranger will be able to take care or not properly is again a fear. And again, a fear of falling as you move, as you even walk, tadiki vunda, like, whether, oh, I should not get hurt. All these are genuine fears. I've just listed some of them. And I'm sure you will agree with me that they do tend to bother us. They do tend to hover around our minds all the time. And that definitely is a reason for the mental wellness to be disturbed, because your mental well-being. And Subhu sir, I think you asked me, or what is the meaning of equipoise? Equipoise is when all your emotions are poised, when they are balanced. When we say poise, it means balance. So equipoise is when our emotions, when our thoughts and everything is stable, calm. When any situation can go bad, it can go worse. At such times, whether you are able to maintain that calm, whether you're able to be level-headed and think not emotionally, but think practically. And that will happen only if you are able to manage your emotions better. And usually the reactions to the fears that we were talking about, or the reactions to any emotions, are either you fight that situation. Okay, in your mind, you have the mental conflict and you say that, no, why this has to happen to me, this fear, it ought not to be there. You fight the situation, like you face it, okay, like a war, like you just face it straight. Or there is a flight reaction, or you flee away from the situation. You run away, you just close everything, and then you don't even talk about it. You just shut shop about it. Or you freeze. Freeze as in you just go cold and you become a stone. Okay, that could be one reaction. Or another reaction is you actually faint. Okay, by comforter, you may fall down also. So these are usually the reactions. Now, a reaction is something that happens spontaneously without a thought, and a response is a calculated, intellectually selected way forward, path forward after acknowledging the emotion. So there is a technique to manage all the emotions. Now, another question coming your way is, how much time do you think it takes from, let's say, the trigger? Okay, there is a stimulus or there is a trigger and something that has made you feel scared. It can be an actual trigger, actual stimulus, or it can be a thought. You have a particular thought in your mind which has created that fear. Both of them could be a stimulus or a trigger. How much time do you think it takes for it to intensify, to become more strong, from mild to intense?
The more
Did you
you
get the
think about
question?
it, the more you
Yes.
think about it,
Mhm.
it will trigger the fear. We keep on
Can you say that
the
again?
thoughts. No, we always think about. The more and more we think about the situation or the fear, it will trigger the more fear in your mind.
Okay, so
Not-
you do feel that it is becoming more and more intense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how much time do you take? Time. Can you give a time to it? Whether it is minutes, whether it is seconds, whether it is hours. I don't know, ரொம்ப increase ஆயிடுது, and then you don't know what to do.
If you see a snake, immediately you will get fear. Okay, it will trigger immediately.
Yeah.
Certain things happens at home, certain bad experience in the past. Those things will take more time. Okay, we keep on thinking. So we cannot frame a time limit for that.
No, can anyone else try and answer that? Agreed. It keeps ringing. It keeps on, replaying in our mind. Is that what you're trying to say? Yes, it does. It does. But there are moments when you will feel that your heart is palpitating really fast, moving very fast, and then suddenly it slows down. Then again, it is moving very fast. It is beating very fast. So, how much time? Yes, please.
Fear, you stay with the fear. Don't run away. You be in the
Yes.
fear and slowly you see that it vanishes. That is what I have learned so far. I don't know how.
Okay, you have learned. Okay, wonderful. It's a wonderful experience that you're talking about. Now, if we were to put it,
My personal experience. One day I was coming out of my house. I found in the veranda a cat has delivered 3 babies. They are all lying in blood and making sound. The whole thing became so disturbing in my head. And I was going for a picture with the Swami. There also it's. Then I wanted to avoid it. The more I avoided it comes. So I wanted to visualize it myself. What is. I stayed with that. Only vanished. That is my personal experience. So we should, the more we try to run away, it comes back. I don't know how it is, right?
Very true, very true. Mani sir, thank you so much for sharing. Now, what you experienced, and first when you saw those cats and the blood, there was that fear and you were running away, and then you realized that it is not working. And then you moved to the visualization, and then you accepted that fear. You allowed that fear to be there for some time. And you told in your mind probably that it is okay to feel scared. So you allowed yourself to feel scared, and then the storm of that fear molecule slowly settled down.
Yes, yes.
But before, what you were trying to do, you were trying to fight it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were saying, no, I don't need to have this fear. I don't want this fear. I want to forget that fear. But it came more powerfully. It came more vigorously, and you found yourself not able to manage till such a time you had to shift the track. And when you shifted the track, you accepted it, you recognized the fear, you accepted the fear, you allowed the fear to be there in your system, and that is when it got channelized and you were able to navigate, you were able to manage the fear. So the words that we are stressing on over here is managing the fear, navigating the fear, and channelizing the fear. But the fear did give you that powerful wisdom that, oh my God, the situation doesn't look safe. I need to do something about it. Isn't it? So if we are able to evaluate every situation that is causing this fear, the fear is not outside. This particular situation which Mani sir has shared, if someone else would have experienced it, okay, let's say, someone who lifts animals or plays with animals very easily, and someone who sees animals being knocked out day in and day out, such a person who has to come and clear whatever has happened, do you think that person is going to feel scared?
Not
No.
at all.
Not at all. So where is the fear? Is the fear outside, within us?
Ma'am, I would like to share this experience, what I'm currently facing.
Yeah.
It has got something to do with what this gentleman talked about, feeling little upset about the cat's, delivery.
Yeah.
Now, I am facing a situation. I have my pet lying right now in front of me, absolutely helpless. She is to complete 17 years. The dog has been with me for the last 17 years. And today, see what happened. She's become weak. Her hind legs have got twisted. She's unable to stand. That is me and my wife, we have to literally hold in our hands and feed the dog for it to survive. Now, she has not lost the appetite. I have taken her to the vet. The heart is fully functional. Her excretion is also good. Digestion is good. Now, the question came like, how do I manage the situation? The vet told, as a professional, we are suggesting that, we allow it to pass off honorably. For a few seconds, it didn't register what he was talking to me. For me, I have seen her in the best and enjoyed with her that today I can't take a decision. And let me also put it to you. The fear didn't really become strong with me. The fear was with my wife and my son, who's in Bangalore, who have started feeling, am I right in doing this? Here, I have said, if I can take care of this pet, I have no fear. The point is, if she is not able to survive and she is to be given a shot, it will be when I am unable to help her live normally.
Yeah. So in this particular situation, I think you are finding yourself not in a situation of fear, not really in a situation of sadness, but in a situation of helplessness.
Yes,
you're finding yourself so helpless that you want to help, but you cannot help.
I wouldn't say that till the time.
No, cannot help as in not the question of monetary.
It is the emotion that is working. You see, my wife will also join me. She's prompted, she's, going to talk about it. Ma'am, the point is yesterday night.
Madam, it is more emotional. It is more emotional. We don't want to, it is a thing I feel. I have no right, when I have no right to give a birth or bring a life.
I cannot take the life, correct.
I have no right to give a shot and put her to sleep.
Right.
More emotional. So we have accepted the fact yes, whatever it is going to happen, whether it's going to be a bed sore or whatever it is, she has to pass out peacefully.
No. You didn't get the right message over here. Here, what I am trying to tell you is not about accepting the situation. And this is for everybody, the viewers, even though over here we are talking about a pet, it could be about a loved one also. The loved one can be by any name. It can be a family member. It can be a pet who's considered a family member. But there are times when we just have to let go. And before we let go, there is this perplexed moments that we have, some very overwhelming moments that we have, and this feeling of helplessness. And that is the feeling. So what you need to do is you need to accept that feeling of helplessness. Accept it. Allow it to dawn on you. Okay. Allow yourself to experience that helplessness, like how we are talking about. Allow yourself to experience the fear. Allow yourself to experience this. If it is anger, allow yourself to experience the anger. Whatever feeling fingerprints are happening within your body, the way your body is indicating, notice what is happening within your body and give it a name. Okay, so here we are talking about, and I'm sure through the discussions that we'll have through the entire evening, you will definitely find answers to manage the particular situation, manage that emotion. That is what we are going to do. That is what we're going to learn. And then rest is up to whatever is maybe destined or whatever has to happen will happen. We cannot have control over everything. What we can have control over, we will do. What we don't have control over, we will just let go.
Exactly, right? Because we cannot control everything. The point what I want to say is, till yesterday, my viewpoint was something else. This morning, because last night from about 10 o'clock in the night, she started crying because the first bed sore, it burst open and she's in deep pain. Now, and I'm seeing her in pain, and if I am going to force her to live longer, that is now the kind of a tricky situation.
Now, very interestingly, sir, very interestingly, we are moving from feeling helplessness to feeling pain. You are empathizing so much with the pain the other person has got, the hurt the other person is going through. So experiencing that particular emotion that the other person is going through is what we term as empathy.
Empathy.
Again, so you're empathetic towards, but there is a difference whether you are having an emotion contagion or whether you're having empathy. So what I believe right now, sir, as what I understood from what you're saying, and even as you were talking, there was almost that moistness in your eyes that I could feel the pain that you are experiencing, that your pet is experiencing. Okay, so there is an emotion contagion, like how we have contagious diseases like that. Emotions are also very, very highly contagious. Whether it is, and here you're talking about a living being, a cat or a dog, or not a human being, but as a being is living. There is life. As long as there.
But I'm taking too much time. I get a feeling that Subramaniam next time may not send me an invite. But I am forced to tell you something for this kind of a situation to take a decision. Because when the vet said that, suggested give a shot, we both got so worried, and we are, very strong believers of Periva. So Mahaperiva, you can see the image behind me. I'm sitting on my dining table so that, I can sit and relaxedly talk.
In fact, sir, I will share with you a technique. I will share with you. And then once you practice that technique, then you let me know whether it has worked or not. I have totally understood what you're wanting to say. And it is very genuine. There is no hocus pocus. Some people, let me also tell you, some people who don't have pets will not identify the way you're identifying. They will think, what is so great about it? Okay, and that would agitate you. So that will start making you feel angry about it. See, we are talking, my dear friends, about emotions, and so many emotions have come about. So many powerful emotions have come about. And to deal with all these emotions, there are a few techniques that now I wish to share with you. And maybe
Great.
definitely at the end of the session, if there are more questions, I'll be more than happy to take it up.
Thank you. Thank you. Great, great.
When we are, so when we are faced in very, very overwhelming situations, like what Sir Swaminathan Mama is talking, or someone else spoke about another situation about, losing or seeing that bloodshed of the, of the animal. So how do we manage that fear? The fear, as I asked you, comes from within. And let me tell you the answer, because the answer still I was awaiting. How much time does it take for it to move from a mild grade to an intense grade? Do we have any answer for that question? How much time from the trigger?
See, madam, good evening. See, I am from Ahmedabad. See, I experienced this earthquake, See, in front of me, people were dying, Whenever, we are staying in a multi-story building. So, whenever I go to veranda, my legs used to shake, of fear. So that it took several years for me to overcome. Because then I understood that it is okay. Nothing is going to be permanent. And at least God has saved us and many of our dear and near relatives. But in front of my eyes, I saw the house collapsing, and then people are dying. They are inside, and then many people died. That was really haunting me for several years. And slowly now everything is okay. I learned Reiki, and then through that, I just the fear has, whenever we stand out, the balcony, my leg used to quiver like anything, out of fear, because I was standing there and I saw this. So that fear was so, but it went away slowly.
And then it is over a period of time. But today, if we were to talk about it today, let's say if I were to play a video, a clip of something that happened on, I think, 26th of January, 2000. Yeah, right. That is when the Bhuj.
Oh, in Ahmedabad also. Ahmedabad, Bhuj.
In Ahmedabad, the tremors were felt.
No, there was something, 7 point something was the richest.
Okay, it was a very, very high. Now, yeah, if I were to play a clipping of any earthquake now, right now, I'm sure you will experience the same thing. Okay, you will have, because you've gone through it at that particular point of time, and with the trigger, you will feel yourself experiencing the same thing again. And this is what I meant by, like, the trigger can be a thought, and the trigger can be an actual situation. So how much time does it take to intensify? Though it stays for a longer time. So minutes, do you think it's minutes, it's hours, it is seconds, or what?
It will take some time, it will be there for some time. I'll be recalling all those in front of me, everything will come like a film. Then it goes away, because time only heals everything.
The question again, I am reiterating, how much time do you think it takes to go from mild to intense? It may stay in an intense mode for very long as you allow the role to play in your mind. But from mild to intense, from the time you view it, you start thinking about it, to the intensity of thinking about what worse could have happened. How much time do you think it would take?
Madam, it takes in seconds.
Yes, you are right. Very, very right. And this is, it takes about 6 to 8 seconds. This is scientifically proven that it takes 6 to 8 seconds from the time there is the stimulus or the trigger to us experiencing it at a very intense level. It takes 6 to 8 seconds. Now, this 6 to 8 seconds is the window period when we have to be emotionally intelligent. That is the window period that we have. Otherwise, we are going to keep slipping into the replay mode over and over and over and over again, which is going to cause a lot more of anxiety, lot more of fear, And what does this fear do? It blocks our thought processes. We are not able to think straight. We are not able to get clear instruction, clear understanding, because everything is clogged in our minds. And then we tend to say that the fear, because of fear, I'm not able to do anything. Because of anger, I'm not able to do anything. Because of fear, all my success is gone. Or because of fear, I'm not able to move ahead in life.
Okay. Is that why it is called fear is for the unknown?
I'm sorry?
Is that the reason why it's often stated that fear is for the unknown?
No, fear need not be of the unknown. Fear can be of the known, and fear can be a learned fear also. Fear of the unknown is definitely there. We do say the fear of the unknown, something that is not known. You don't know how it's going to be. Right. And if you are a person who is equipoised, if you are a person who is able to manage the emotions well, then you are more or less often in a very calm state, in a relaxed state of mental well-being. So anything that could be shocking for someone else is still not shocking for a calm and equipoised person. But someone who's already agitated and in a trigger, let's say someone who's already experiencing the thoughts of an earthquake, you're in those thoughts of that fear, and suddenly in the kitchen, there is a bottle that drops down and creates some amount of vibration, creates a loud sound. What do you think will happen?
Yes, that was there for some time. No, it was there because we saw all the falling.
So immediately what happens is it escalates within us because it is not managed. That 6 to 8 seconds, if we are able to manage, we cannot stop an earthquake from happening. Earthquake, it's not a one-person thing. An earthquake is again happening because of the shift in the planes, in the earth planes, right? So that is a natural catastrophe, a natural danger, okay, which can happen in especially places like California and others who are prone to. Now, places like which are prone to floods and hurricanes, okay, they're aware, but still they continue to stay there. And then as and when the flood situation or a warning is there, then they take the necessary action. So likewise, when we are experiencing that fear, okay, instead of creating it as a reaction, if we are able to respond to fear, okay, being emotionally intelligent, we are not saying it is wrong to feel scared. If suppose someone is feeling scared, I don't think we have the right to be judgmental and make fun of that fear. No, it is not about making fun of that fear. Believe me, that fear or a phobia, whether it is of something insignificant or whether it is something really huge, is still very, very genuine in the minds of the person who is experiencing the fear. So we cannot belittle it. We cannot make fun of it. So someone like someone who's addressing or, hearing or being a listener, a good listener to someone who is sharing their experience on fear. But every time we cannot have someone else. There are sometimes some things which we can be independent about, and we can learn to overcome all these fears, especially on a day-to-day basis, by the techniques that I have to share with you. Okay, so first, at least till now, whatever we've spoken about, let's just slightly little summarize it and say that yes, fear is a very important, powerful emotion in our body. It is present like how all emotions are present in our body. It is present in the form of a neuropeptide. Okay, and when it is moving, when it increases, when we are able to sense it in our body, when it is moving from mild to an intense grade, generally any of these emotions, they take about 6 to 8 seconds from the time of the trigger. So if we remember that, that we have a window period to be emotionally intelligent during these 6 to 8 moments. 6 to 8 seconds. If we are not, suppose we've missed the bus at that time, we are not able to manage it at that time, at least next time when there is a replay of the thought, can we be emotionally intelligent? Okay, and to understand that, I have this technique which I'm going to share with you. It is not made by me, but definitely in our training practices, we do use this technique, and it is called the RAIN technique. RAIN. Okay, RAIN. If we remember RAIN, I think we will get the clue. So what does R stand for? So it's an abbreviation. So R stands for recognize what is happening. Okay, and just pause for that moment and ask yourself, how am I feeling? Where am I feeling this particular emotion? So if we are talking about fear, it can be maybe there is, if I eat something would go wrong. Let's say it's fear of falling ill. Okay, or fear of, let's say fear of falling ill. If that fear is there as you are just trying to put something in your mouth, something delicious that you have seen and you want to eat it, but if you eat extra of it, something could go wrong. And that fear is stopping you from eating and stopping you from enjoying it also. So at such a time, what can you do? So you recognize what is happening. So, okay, these vadas look really, really very tempting. And I would like to pop in a few of them in my mouth. Okay, because there's Shashi sir and his team make some excellent vadas. And I mean, he manages it, but the cooking mama makes some excellent vadas. So I would like to pop in a lot more vadas. But then you have that feeling of anxiety. Okay, the little fear. Oh, நான் இது ரெண்டுக்கு மேல சாப்பிட்டேன்னா எனக்கு உடம்புக்கு ஒத்துக்காதா. Okay, and that itself, you stop yourself from enjoying that. Okay, so where am I feeling the fear? Am I feeling it in my heart? Am I feeling it in my hand? Do I feel that my hands are going little cold? Do I feel that my body is shaking little with the thought of falling sick? Okay, so recognize all that, what is happening. A stands for allow yourself to feel that way. Just be there in those thoughts, just be there in those feelings, and tell yourself that it's here to stay for some time, even if I do not like it. Okay, so allow yourself to experience what you're feeling and accept those feelings. I stands for investigate. So you're investigating with compassion, with kindness. Like, why am I feeling like this? Is it true? If I'm having these thoughts that I'm going to be falling sick, is it true that I will fall sick? No, I've been a calculated eater. Even though my eyes are seeing and wanting to eat more, my body at this age tends to eat only 1 or 2, and which is what I'm eating. So you're investigating. So as you investigate, N stands for non-identity. Non-identify yourself with the thoughts and with the emotion. That means whatever is happening, you're not saying that I'm having these, you would rather say that I notice that I am feeling. I notice that I'm feeling anxious. I notice I'm feeling scared, rather than saying I'm scared. Okay, so this is playing with words. When you say I am scared, that means that scare is you. Okay, so here we are going to detach ourselves from that fear, and we are saying that I notice that I'm feeling scared. So you are coming out of yourself, you're detaching yourself and allowing that feeling to go. Okay, so using the RAIN technique, you know for sure that that feeling then is there only for the moment. It is only temporary. and you are going to move to a safer zone. By using this technique, okay, as you go through, and here you are not going to miss steps. If you miss steps, it's going to keep coming in a roller coaster form. So first and foremost, we need to recognize, we need to accept. In recognizing, it is important that you name the feeling. Giving a name to the feeling is as good as taming that feeling. Because the feeling is going to escalate, whether you like it or not, it is going to increase in intensity. So you have to tame it. You have to try to de-escalate it. Wait for a while, pause and think in your mind, how much fear am I feeling? On a scale of 0 to 10, am I feeling fear at 10 or am I feeling fear at 7? Okay, gauge that, understand that. Then those 6-second pause when you are taking, use your breathing techniques. A long, deep breath, inhale. Okay, maybe to a count of 5 or 6. Okay, inhale to a count of 6. Hold your breath to a count of 4 and exhale to a count of 8. It would go something like this. So that much is one breath. Then do twice or thrice this. The minute you do at least 3 to 4 times, then do a reality check again of the fear. Is the fear at 10 or has it come down little? If you notice it has come down little, oh yes, it is working. So you will take a few more deep breaths. But if you tend to breathe fast at this particular time consciously, then it's going to remain escalated. So you have to use the power of breathing. You will be able to use the power of breathing only when you recognize the feeling, you label that feeling, you accept that feeling, you embrace that feeling. Because it is not outside, the feeling is within you. So you're trying to calm that feeling. You're telling yourself like, okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay. Like in movies like Three Idiots and all, there have been, very well demonstrated, that all is well, all is well. There was a song also. So what is it that we are trying to say? It's not about fooling the mind, but it is about calming the mind. We don't need to fool the mind. We don't need to directly distract. What happens is immediately we've always learned to distract. Okay, from the early years, even if there is a fear, you tend to distract your mind. So when you directly distract, what happens is you do not pay attention to that fear. You do not recognize that fear. You do not respect that fear. And every emotion in our body would like to be respected, would like to be recognized, would like to be acknowledged, would like to be accepted. And the minute you do all this to any emotion, you have achieved the first step of conquering that emotion, which would really increase in intensity. So using the rain technique helps in many ways. So anytime you feel yourself being caught up in a situation that is making you feel very fearful, making you feel anxious, do try the rain technique. And you may share your feedback at a later date, or maybe directly. My number is with Subbu sir, and I would be more than happy to even hear from you about whenever it is possible that you've managed to use the technique well. Now, I'm also going to share with you another technique, which is again very, very powerful, and it has been used effectively. Like for our physical fitness, we do some amount of jogging, we do some yoga, we may do some, some form, or we may go for walks, different forms of exercises for our physical well-being. There is also something called squats. Yeah. How many of you are aware of what are squats? Can anyone explain what is a squat?
I do it regularly.
Oh, you do it regularly. So can you tell more about what is the squat, Subbu sir?
ஓப்பக்கரணம்மா காதை பிடிச்சுன்னு உட்கார்ந்து எழுந்துக்கிறது.
Okay, Kada Pachanda Okananda, where you are going little on your knees, bending your knees forward and keeping your back straight as if you are moving down and then coming up, down. Okay, so instead of physical squats, for our mental well-being, we would be learning mental squats. Okay, so what we are going to do in case of, you know, a time when we are going through a turbulence, so which is causing a lot of fear or which is causing a lot of intense emotion, the squats do help. Now squats over here is again an abbreviation. It's a short form. So I'm going to tell you what each letter stands for. So over here, if you are generally used to journaling your feelings, S stands for scribble your thoughts. When you are facing an intense situation, which is fearful, what are the thoughts that are there in my mind? It may be, here we are not classifying them as real or irrational, rational or irrational. We are just focusing on the thoughts and jotting down, scribbling down all the thoughts that are coming. So journaling the thoughts would be the first step here, S, and Q stands for question. Question what you don't know about about the things that are making you stressful. Question about the things that you don't know about the things that are making you stressful, or what are the things that is beyond your control. What is causing it which you don't know about? Yeah, that is Q, you're questioning. You understand what is within your control. What is the power that you have? What is it that you can do? And all the possible things to the 100% efficiency that you can do. So understand that. A stands for accept and acknowledge the things as they are. Okay, accept and acknowledge the things as they are stands for A. T stands for take action on what is within your control. Whatever you think you can do it. Don't allow it to just be in your mind. Do it. Take action. And S stands for see what happens. After you've taken that decision, see what happens. So in this way, our mental squats would help us for our mental wellness and mental well-being. Okay? Because our life is actually a report card of the choices and actions, okay, of our choices and actions. If we take a closer look at our lives and analyze it carefully, we may figure out that we are the architects of our own lives and naturally face the consequences of the actions committed by us. I'm sure you will agree to that. When we work on a flashback mode, I'm sure you will agree with me that what we do, or there are even sayings which say, so what you sow, so you reap. Like whatever you're putting in, you are going to be facing the consequences, because ye dunya goal hai, right? So be it fear and all these fears, whatever we've listed, some of them which are not listed and spoken, some are known fears, some are unknown fears. So even if it is an unknown fear or the fear of the unknown, but the fear that you are experiencing is genuine. So we have to address it. You have to recognize it. You have to name it and tame it. Check on the intensity, and then you may do some of the breathing to manage the 6 seconds, 6 to 8 seconds. Try to calm yourself, and in a calmer mind, you will be able to think of better options rather than only reactions of fight, flight, freeze, or faint, you will be able to utilize those 6 seconds, with that window period. If you're able to manage and equipoise yourself, then the options that you have will be much wider, and you will be able to select a better option to manage also the situation at that time. So I have shared with you right now only 2 techniques, okay, so that you may start practicing it whenever you are having fear. Whenever. We are not questioning that in our lifetime why we have had fears. Some of them are induced fears, some of them are learned fears. No, we are not talking about that. We are talking about now. We are talking about unknown. Now, another question as we are talking about, I'm not sure if it would come up as a question, but I am posing a question. What is the difference between fear and worry? Yes? What is the difference between fear and worry? Anybody can answer.
Fear is, as you said, that 6 to 8 seconds. And something which, see what I do when I get something, when I'm scared of something, what immediately I do, I immediately close my eyes and I pray to my guru. And that is how I overcome. That is one technique which I do. Immediately I close. So that moment of when I close my eyes for a few seconds, I come out of it. That is how. Worry is something, whenever you see the same problem, same situation, it keeps on going for days, months, years, till you come out of the situation. So some problem, even we will be having our own personal problem. It can be between husband and wife, it can be between your health or your child's health or child's career or so whatever it might be. Till the situation changes, and when you see that thing happens and when it becomes proper, that worry goes. Till that time, that back of your mind, it is you. I might say that no, I'm out of it. I'm out of it. No, only when I see my own child comes out of that same problem and then he starts living happily or whatever it is, that time, then only, or when I see my husband's health has improved, then only that worry goes away.
Okay, but my question is, what is the difference between fear and worry? Yes.
But that's why fear is only for few seconds or moments. I think worry goes on, keeps on.
Madam,
No, that is okay. Like fear, worry also can be replayed in our mind over and over again. So fear is different and worry is slightly different. Yeah.
I will tell you, fear is an instant experience. Worry is a habit.
Worry is a habit. Oh, very beautifully you put it. It becomes a trait.
Yes.
Yeah. Though it is an emotion, it becomes over and over a period of time. It becomes you adapt to it. Yeah.
Learned behavior.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. Yes, correct. It is more learned. And also we can say, okay, are there any other responses? Anyone else would like to share?
And one more thing,
imagination. Madam?
Sorry?
Worries are due to imagination or what?
Yes, madam. Vijayalakshmi, madam, you're absolutely right. Fear can be genuine of a particular of something. Okay. Now, worry is something that is going to happen. You're imagining it. Okay. And that imagination is playing on your mind, which is causing fear. Okay. So worry, whenever we are doing this, when we are doing, let's say, the squats or the rain technique, you will be able to understand whether it is a worry, whether it is genuine or not genuine. Is it something that is causing a particular situation now? Is it rational or is it irrational? Is it real or is it an imagination? And sometimes, let me tell you, that the way our mind works is that if we allow ourselves to worry and worry and worry and worry and worry, we live in that bubble of imagination, and that we start considering as very, very real. Okay. It becomes so much so ingrained as a trait in us that it starts playing so much so that it causes ill health to us, right? Be it worry, a fear, and if you're able to manage that fear, so be it. But fear, if it changes to worry and it starts playing in your mind more because of the imagination and the power of your mind, then the disastrous effect that it would have on your health, okay, is much more. So very often fear and worry have their base linked to our digestive system, okay, or even anxiety. Anxiety also comes in the fear family. So if we have or we face a lot of anxiety and don't deal with it, don't manage it appropriately, it has its impact on our digestive system. So you may think like, I'm sure you may have realized that you want to go out for an appointment, okay, to meet somebody, okay, or it can be a doctor's appointment, okay, just say it can be a regular medical checkup. But even as you're getting ready, before the vehicle comes, before your car comes to pick you up, you are all ready, you're all set, you've worn your chappals, shoes, everything. And then because that fear is there, no, that urge to go to the washroom would be there. Okay, even though you may have done it just about a half an hour back, but still that fear is causing that. And then even as you walk, or as you sit in the car and as you're going towards the hospital, for the medical check, it's a general checkup. Okay, but still, Seria ella irkoma, I hope everything is all right. That worry is there. So there's a difference between if it's a concern and if it is a worry. A worry tends to aggravate the situation. And madam, as you mentioned that when the situation is over and the doctor you met and then all reports and all are normal. Nothing, right? So then that worry is gone. Then another worry will come. So worrying becomes a trait. It becomes I mean, to say that it becomes a fashion would be very rude, but it becomes so much a part of you that it starts bothering your health. So we have a choice to use any of these techniques to see how we can manage these fears, how we can manage these anxieties, how we can manage these worries also, even if there are worries, how? Especially when someone is ill and you know that someone is ill, someone in the neighborhood is ill, someone in the family is ill, someone close to you is ill. The worry is likely to be there. But how do you manage that? So if we shift it to a fear, and the fear of maybe losing that someone is what is causing that anxiety. So take those deep breaths and reassure yourself that, yes, this person is in safe hands. The best of best medical treatment is coming. The family is along with this person, with this individual. So whatever is within the control, you are managing. What is beyond your control, samarpit karna. Okay, into whichever faith you believe in. Because there is a very nice bhajan, by this Brahma Kumari in the ashram and in some of the schools, they say, "Ye mat kaho khuda se, meri mushkilein badi hain." That is, don't tell God that your problems are big, but instead you tell the problems that your God, you have a very strong God behind you to support. So there is this song which goes this way, Ye mat kaho khuda se, meri mushkile badi hai. Ye mat kaho khuda se, मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, इन मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है. So what you're trying to say, you're just shifting focus from trying to be the thoughts which were making you negative, feel negative, you're shifting it to making it positive. Okay, to positive and realistic. And that is what we mean by trying to be more optimistic. So if we are going to be practicing emotional awareness, not just in moments which is going to make us fearful, but at all times. At all times in a day, about 7 to 8 times, instead of putting a thermometer to check the temperature, just do an emo check. An emo check will tell you, what am I experiencing now? So in this way, you will be enhancing your vocabulary. The more emotion, the words of emotion that you use, the more it is going to help you to name the emotion at the right time. The more you are going to label the emotion at the right time, you will be able to tame that particular feeling from becoming very intense. And that is how we can say that we are practicing more of emotional awareness, emotion management, and being more and more mindful. Because like how we do the emotional planning, the financial planning to ensure that, there are a lot of dividends and, money that comes back for your financial security. Like that, if we are able to invest in EQ bonds, okay, in EQ, emotional intelligence, right? EQ stands for emotional intelligence. If we are able to invest in EQ bonds, we will have better mental and emotional wellness. So that way we will be able to overcome and be poised in our lives. I'm not saying we are going to become sadhu sant. No. On the level to reach panarthak, we have to do a lot of tapasya. And all of us being family members, being so very attached to our family members, there are a lot of these emotional moments that come about. So if we attach ourselves to the emotions, we are the people who are going to feel disturbed about it. Detach yourself from that emotion. Okay, accept the emotion. It is there to give you a message, but slowly detach yourself. Say, for the moment, I am feeling this way. The minute you say for the moment, you are temporizing the feeling, and you will allow it to go. It's like a guest. It's coming at a particular time. It is definitely going to go also. Yes. Now, are there any questions?
Thank you, Sudha, for the wonderful session. In fact, we need to put into practice the plain and squat technologies to, convert ourselves to some extent fearless, overcome the fear. We'll definitely try to do that. And I'm sure somebody would want to say something, but many people have already spoken.
Yeah. Subbu.
Please.
See, our scriptures, particularly the Upanishad and Gita, have dealt with the question of emotions very nicely. And they have also found the reason for emotions. It is all, do you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
It is all because of ignorance. Ignorance is not absence of knowledge. It is wrong knowledge.
Yes.
And there is also medicine for that. It says the moment you understand who you are, all the emotions, everything just get dropped. That is what the message of our scriptures and Bhagavad Gita. I have been practicing it for years. Very long time. But you don't get the benefit because ignorance is always told by knowledge. And the Gita and Upanishad, they are there to do that. It is wrong knowledge or erroneous knowledge. That is the cause for all our suffering and worry, whatever it is. So my feeling is, let us see, Bhagavad Ramana says, Shankara says, so many people have said again and again, so many sannyasis, they talk about that. But we don't give any attention to the scriptures and Gita. We do have, and there are messages. But one warning is it takes time. Okay, thank you. You have given a very beautiful lecture. I thank you very much for it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And what, Mama, you just mentioned, about Bhagavad Gita and reading the Bhagavad Gita and, practicing. Reading the Bhagavad Gita is one thing. Chanting and
No, you are not understood. It is not reading or chanting. Bhagavad Gita should go through you.
Exactly.
Go through
So
you.
we need to, yes, it has to
Yeah,
flow
you
through
get
us.
message.
Yes, the
Message.
principles.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is more important because daily
Yeah.
chanting has no meaning. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You chant
So-
without any out of
Yeah.
heart. I mean, that has no meaning. Once it goes through you, things
Yeah.
get totally clear.
True.
Similarly,
True.
the question of Upanishads. But it
Right.
does take time, but that is worth spent time. All the technologies, etc., they do. But
Yes.
their results, in my opinion, are temporary. Temporary. Every time fear comes, you have to do all this. No. Once you know who you are, what is the
Yes.
purpose of your living in, fear doesn't
Absolutely.
come.
Yes.
That is the message. And
Yes.
it
The
takes
fear will come and go. Yeah.
it takes a lot of time. It takes time. Yes, I have been doing it since my age of 35. I am 82. Still, I have to get the gist of it. But I find it is useful.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much.
It is useful.
Too much of time. Thank you.
Yes. Any more questions?
Madam, what I feel is whatever has to happen will definitely happen. Whether you get
Yeah.
worried, panicky, it will happen. So we have to, there is no point in getting worried about it. So we have to think, we have to accept it. Okay. That's what I feel. Sometimes it happens to me, madam, because my husband has some problem. So whenever I want to go out, I get worried. What will happen to him? He may fall down, this, that, and all these things.
Yeah. See, I would like to say, whenever something, yeah,
One minute. Talking, just let me talk.
Vijayalakshmi madam, Vijayalakshmi madam, mute item.
Vijayalakshmi,
Yes, yes.
Let Vijayalakshmi madam complete what she, someone
saying
else was
something.
talking.
No,
Yeah.
she was saying something. Vijayalakshmi.
Should
Solunga,
I-
madam.
Yeah.
Madam, solunga.
Whatever has to happen will definitely happen, madam. So my husband has some problem. So whenever I try to go outside, even for half an hour, I really get so much worried. Okay. So there is no, but whether in my presence or in my absence, if he has to fall down, means he will fall down only. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Now, if I could just
I should-
interrupt you 1 minute, if I would interrupt you, and I will say, instead of that philosophical response, saying that whatever has to happen will happen, this is destiny, instead of going to that mode, okay, what do you do? What do you do when that worry is there? When you are worried, when those thoughts are coming in your mind, what do you do?
If I have to do those certain things, I have only have to do means, then I will go and do it. I will leave it to
Yeah.
God. I will just leave it to God. He is
So
there.
what
to take
happens in your mind? No, now let's fragment our thoughts. Okay, let's go into a dissection mode of our thoughts. What exactly happens in your mind? What thoughts come? Ipo utittu pona avarke down aituna, everyone will blame me for having left and gone, left him alone and gone. Correct?
Yes.
That is one thought that is there. Another thought that I know all this work is important, and how much can I keep postponing all this work, okay, just because of his illness, is another thought, right? Like this, there will be many thoughts that come, and each thought is going to give you a rise. It gives rise to a particular feeling. Pay attention to that feeling. Is it anxiety? Is it a fear? Is it helplessness? What is it? Okay, so give a name. A name in Tamil vocabulary you can say, but give a name to it. what happens is very often we find ourselves that we cannot name our feelings because throughout our education system, throughout our growing years, we've not allowed ourselves to feel a particular feeling. It can be anger, it can be fear, nothing to feel scared of. Nothing to feel scared of. Why should you feel scared of? You're questioned. If you feel scared about something, you're questioned about it. Because you're questioned about it, you go into a defensive mode and you don't talk about that fear. The more you don't talk about the fear, it is inside you and it keeps growing and it bubbles up to such an extent that the fear keeps cropping up again and again and again. So every time this thought comes, now try this technique by recognizing the fear. Okay, we are not going to say whatever happens will happen. No, we are not going into those philosophical responses at all, because that sometimes will make you feel even more agitated, because you will feel you don't know the tool. And here we are all waiting to get the tools, because if you have the equipped skills and the tools, you will be able to manage the situation better. So today I've shared with you two tools, two techniques. So allow yourself, you're feeling that way. It is okay to feel that way. Reassure yourself. And then you will find out, the emotion is going to help you find out whether stepping out of the house is it a priority or it can be delayed. Do I have an option of requesting someone else to be there in the house till I run the errand and come? Or making mama aware that you are stepping out, reassuring him that I'm going to be back soon, and the phone is there. At any point of time, you just give a missed call and I will know I have to get back or reach help to you immediately. And you have sister within the campus, you have your neighbors and friends within the campus who will be able to immediately, even though you've stepped out to the market, someone else will be able to provide help in case of an emergency. In this way, you have managed the entire situation, including that fear that is there within you. Isn't it? So work on this technique. Yes, do we have any more questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Madam, you talked about this RAIN technique.
Yeah.
Recognize, accepting, investigating, and N.
Non-acceptance. Yeah.
Non-acceptance, or make it a label and identified, notify, whatever.
Non-identify. Yeah.
How far logic is going to sort of help you at that point of time? Because I would put it to you, cite with an example. You face this thing in front of you, an accident has occurred.
Yeah.
Say, and you have all the fear, everything. Okay, but somehow, my interpretation is, if you can't do something at that golden hour, you missed it. Then every other fear goes away. You handle blood also if it required. Talk about so sign kind of a grave emergency. This RAIN, what you talked about, investigate, and then that N, non-identification or notice. How do you explain that?
Very, very valid question. And to answer that question, I would like to share with you an experience that has happened. Among the many experiences, this is one of the experience which is going to cover up whatever you asked for. I was working with a chain of schools in the capacity of a director, and we had our sports day event for the preschoolers. Preschoolers means children in the age group of 3 to 6 years. Okay, we had the sports day and it was a very grand event. There were about 800 children on the ground with their parents. I mean, 500, 600 children and about 1,000 people in the audience. It was an open ground and the function went off very well. The sports day went off very well. Now there was a balloon vendor who had also come. Okay, and this was in the beginning of the session of the sports day to flag off the event. You have all these balloons and all, and you allow the balloon to fly up in the air, the gas balloon. So it was a lovely show. The show had concluded and everyone was departing, okay, going away from the venue. It so happened that in the afternoon, we were all there over there and we heard a loud noise. It was a blast. It sounded huge. There was a loud, terrifying noise which shook us up. Okay, we moved from wherever we were, we came to the source of the sound and we realized that there was a blast. The cylinder, the gas cylinder which the balloon vendor was having, that blast, okay, because of overheating. And very unfortunately, the balloon vendor lost his life. He dropped dead. Okay, so we had this body in front of us over there, screaming, all the children, all the parents, all the teachers. You don't know who the parents are, because there's a charred effect everywhere. Okay, black. There were people who were burnt. There were children under the age of 5 who were burnt, who had 4th-degree burns, whichever is the worst burns. Okay, chest and above. Okay, there was a child whose brains had opened up. We could actually see the head opened up like that. Why I am sharing with you or talking about this also is because you said that if there is an accident, what do we do? Okay, it doesn't come. So when we practice, honestly, when I'm talking about it also, if we practice equipoise and like, let's say, it's not that you're not going to be scared or petrified. Even today, when I think about it, talking about it is also like, my words are actually, shaking. That was the effect, because we had 5 children who were very critically injured, and about 17 to 18 people who were had injuries, and we had to mobilize. We had to call, and then the gates were closed and everything had to be opened. We needed to see that there was no stampede. People in the management, we all were left in a state of shock. Everything was, so someone had to take the lead. Okay, first thing was trying to calm people who are going to mobilize first aid to be given to all these people. Okay, so actually lifting these children, to taking them, getting the vehicles ready for it, reaching them to hospitals, and the journey continued after that as well. But even today, a loud sound, balloon popping, can create a lot of fear in people's mind or those who witnessed it. But if you ask me, I love to play with balloons. Even now, if you ask me to blow a balloon, I will blow. So that's not caused me to have that fear that if I'm going to blow a balloon, a blast is going to happen. It does bring in memories. So how do you deal with the situation? And that was a very, very, let's say, important portfolio that was given to me, apart from being the director of the organization, to handle this particular situation, which did not end in 1 day or 2 days. It took more than a year, because the children were actually, let's say, declared blind by the hospital. They said that these children are not going to, the cornea is beyond damage, we can't do anything about it. So it was like to accept all the feelings that they are going through. And I was the one person, the management from our side, the management entrusted the full responsibility of this on me. And they said, nobody is going to come in the way. Like, I was the only person who could meet the children at the hospitals. I was the only one who could meet with the parents, talk to the parents. Because in between, if there are other fears, people's fears, which crop into it, then that is going to spoil the entire situation. It will go out of control. Okay, so that way they had blocked all other things, and I was the only channel providing them support, allowing them to experience whatever they are experiencing, sometimes taking all the nonsense that they had to say also, because obviously there was a lot of blame. I mean, just imagine you've gone over there and then, you're going to really question, why such a thing is happening. Who's responsible for it? So instead of the blame game, shift and slowly taking the entire situation to a level where licensing and the way the management is responsible to pay for the expenses of all the surgeries, be it the plastic surgery, the skin grafting that had to happen, and the other, eye surgeries, and actually generating the power of prayers and miracles, because the topmost doctor had given up, and for one child said that in Marathi, so he declared very, very loudly and clearly to the child's mother, child of 5 years, to the mother, saying, "Bai, tumcha mulga andhara zhalai. He has gone blind, so we cannot do anything." I mean, just imagine, she's already focusing on something and being there at a situation which is so difficult. And at such time, someone is talking and bashing her up with these words to a very insensitive doctor, I would say. And I was witness to it. But I couldn't lose my cool. If I lose my cool, then the whole purpose is done. So how do I poise myself? All the thoughts are there, and then you have to evaluate. You have to calm yourself. So much of mindfulness practices has really helped. And I can share with you that the power of miracle, the power of faith, something which is not in our hands, it is beyond. Just give up. Allow someone else to handle it. Mera khuda hai na, my God is there to take care. And today I can say that the children, it is 7 years since this episode has happened. I'm very much in touch with the parents. They send me very warm wishes, a lot of blessings they do. The children, all of them who were critically injured, have all got their sight back. Okay, at least in one eye. They can see, they're not blind. Okay, they've all come back to the same school. And the same school is like, giving them a concession in their fees. And I've talked through to the management that for their entire schooling, they need to be given this concession. Okay, that is the only way. You cannot, no matter how much money you give, it is not going to help. But you need to give that reassurance. You need to give that support. So that way, both management as well as now the parents are going through, the children are doing well, and really God is there. So I hope I answered your question in a different way though.
Great. Madam, the point what you highlighted out is that intrinsic faith within of our own capability to analyze and react and respond to a situation helps us in handling the fear or that worry.
Yes.
Surrender. Surrender to the Lord. That's it.
To the Lord. Nothing is in our hands.
That is the only.
We are only instrumental in doing. And then when something nice happens, and today, if the management talks very good and say that Sudha Madam has done this and that, I've not done anything. It was his way of saying that in the puzzle of my life, that he put that piece to say that, okay, this is your role, you need to be there. And that is it. I was just there, but he has been doing everything. He's been giving me the courage. He's been giving me the courage to walk the path ahead. And to take even a very important step of the Vanaprastha, if those of you who have not listened to the Vanaprastha video, we're totally giving up everything from very affluent living in Mumbai, in Thane, to go to a semi-urban place like in Tirupati and stay there, be there, serve there. Where did I get the power from? I don't know. He's giving me the power. That's all I know. What I'm going to do ahead, I don't know. Even today, I'm in Atlanta. Today, I'm in the US. I've come here to spend some time with family. But definitely, once I go back, I know I have a purpose ahead. I am going to go back to continue with my projects on the service, which has expanded. It has expanded pan-India. What we started only at Tirupati has gone ahead to other states of India, where we are providing training programs for the visually impaired, okay, where they can have an independent and respectful living. So he's showing me the way, and like that, he is showing each of us the way. We just have to believe, sir. That is all.
Very true.
Okay,
Lovely
thank
session,
you
ma'am.
very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for your excellent presentation. We move into the final segment of summarizing the talk and proposing vote of thanks. Mr. R. Subramanian, Secretary Tapovan, joining us from Chennai, would do the honors. Subramanian, sir, please go ahead.
Good evening to one and all. It was a very great lecture Dr. Sudha Srikanth gave. She is no way new to us. She has already given 2 lectures to us. And today is an important topic because many of us don't understand what the fear is all about and how to manage or overcome it. And it was a good player by Mr. Sridhar, Gayati Vanamali Maduram, what he sang, and Mr. Krishnan gave a very good introduction, which you have heard earlier, and she has been working. And I was just wondering whether she has shifted to Atlanta. She said at the end of the talk, she is coming back and continuing her project with Tirupati and Gujarat. And most of her achievements we know before, but all the same, he went over them so that those of us who are listening to her lecture for the first time would be knowing. The other point I did not know earlier, that she was a TT player in her school and college days. This is additional information what we got. And so nice that she had been named as one of the top 100 women in this country. Most of us know that because we gave wide publicity in our Tapovan, group, and we know, and though belatedly, our congratulations to you, madam. And you started, we have been talking about of all the things we did that, and finally we decided to surrender to God, which you started at the beginning of the talk, seeking the blessings of Perumal and elders, and taking time is really nice of you, madam, so early in the morning. And you said the fear is a part of emotional intelligence and wanted the session to be interactive. I'm sure it was extremely interactive, people sharing their opinions and getting their answers right there. And in between, you summarized your talk on your own. That facilitated the process. I need not go through. And fear is something sometimes you need to pretend you are afraid. That is what Thiruvalluvar says. Anjuvadu anjame pedamai anjuvadu anjidal that arivar. What you need not be afraid of, don't be afraid of. Whatever you are should be afraid of. And she gave example of the fire, a child putting its finger in the socket. These you say you are fearless, they are not going to spare you. They are having their own properties, and you should have fear, or you may call by any other name, respect for those energy levels that are there. You said, Mr. Swaminathan Narayanan said, I want to give it up and get rid of it. That has been the thing. But what you suggest is that you live with the fear and overcome that, rather than trying to get rid of it because it doesn't go. Fear is an emotion which is very powerful, you explain. Emotions are part and parcel of the neuropeptides in our body, and it is not really to do with the mind. Sometimes the basic chemicals in the body also works in the thing. And obviously, when you get fear, you gave how it manifests itself in the number of heartbeats, body temperature going up, the mouth getting dried, etc. These are the things that are there we see. And these techniques are being used when you are afraid of something. We all know the story of Adi Shankara when he had the debate with Mandana Mishra, keeping Sarasavani as a judge. She decided to give 2 garlands to Shankara and Mandana Mishra and told that I'll find out whichever withers fast, I will decide as a win the loser. And Mandana Mishra, having fear listening to the arguments of Adi Shankara, his body temperature went up, and she could declare easily that he is the loser, her husband is a loser. And also these techniques are used when you have the fear of getting caught. In Chinese investigation process, all of us are knowing that they put a handful of rice in the mouth and question him and ask the guy culprit to spit it out. They count the number of dry eyes. The more number of dry eyes of rice are there, they find that it could be possible he could have done it, because if you have the fear, your mouth turns dry. These are some of the things. Fear is like an alarm. You said that it is. You cannot get rid of it. And you said fear comes when you get old, as you need care. Food may not suit me, and various other fears are there in us. And all of us, you table them very nicely, madam. And these fears disturb our mental peace, for sure. And you explain the difference between worry, anxiety, and fear. Fear being the worry being the forerunner and manifests into fear and anxiety. Probably we need to listen more lectures to appreciate the other 2 topics. You wanted us to be equipoised, sthita prajna, what it is being called. Very difficult task, but all the same, we need to do that. We have our own defense mechanism, what you said, and those of us who might have read Devan's story of Tuparium Shambhu, his defense mechanism is faint on the place spot immediately. And that was the way he was having it. And accepting, managing, navigating, and channelizing the fear or the methods you said. People shared their experiences. Mr. Narayan shared how he is finding it difficult to leave the dog which you have been keeping for 17 years suffering. And he says his empathy, what he has, manifests, he should not suffer. We might have heard the stories of the English when they leave this country, those colonial days, they, instead of allowing their pet to suffer at the hands of the natives, they killed them and went. Is a story. How far it is true, we do not know, but we read about these things. Time is taken, one said, to the serious level, and it could be 6 to 8 seconds, what you said. Before I blink my eyes, I should be able to get ready. If that is not possible, when it comes and hits me the second time, I should be aware and try to overcome that. We will certainly practice it so that we can see. And you also said, when you get fear, you feel more hungry, you feel like going to the bathroom more often, you try to sleep off. These are some of the manifestations. You taught us 2 main techniques, rain technique and squat technique. All these things we have understood, and we will recognize, allow ourselves to experience, investigate with compassion and control, and non-identify the thoughts and emotions, so that we are free and pristine at the end of the fear and it goes away. And leaving it to God is what you said. Your personal story of balloon vendor and the accident has been a real great eye-opener to how to overcome the fear and do the things more rationally rather than empathizing and wasting one's time. That was a good lesson to us. Calm mind is calming the mind when we get fear is mostly important, you said, because don't try to distract it away because it will revisit you. Once in a while, once and for all, you put to sleep, and you asked us to do the mental squatting, and you also very clearly said, we are the architects of our own fears, and what you sow, so you reap. And we had a lecture a couple of weeks back about this particular topic, what you sow, so you reap. And all these things which put together will certainly help us, but it is not a one-day process. It is an exercise which we will practice so that we are able to live with the fear and experience the fear so that it doesn't scare us. On the contrary, inshallah, we will be able to scare the fear. Thanks a lot. Have a nice evening, madam, or nice day, madam. And goodbye to all. Bye.
Thank you, Subramanian sir, for the wonderful summarization and vote of thanks as always. Thank you, Sudha madam, for your valuable time. Thank you, Krishnan sir, for the introduction. Thank you, Sridhar, for the prayer. The recording will be uploaded in YouTube sometime tomorrow. In fact, I would like to mention that the very first video of Dr. Sudha Srikanth has gone viral on the net and it is still trending. Kindly log into my YouTube channel, watch it. It's very, very interesting and informative. Well, that's a wrap up on all of us over here. Until we meet next, wishing you all goodbye, good night, and Shubh Ratri.